All right, welcome to the Legendary Upside YouTube channel. My name is Pat Crane. Follow my content at legendaryupside.com. Doing a DraftKings $20 flagship contest here, the $15 million Best Ball Millionaire tournament. Got the Sidekick up and running here as well. You can check this out at legendaryupside.com/sidekick, our dynamic rankings tool. Let me get this just situated here. So if you're newer to it, you can see the drop down on the bottom. I've got the sim version. So these are sim driven player recommendations that we'll have along for the ride with us today. Drafting out of the 4-hole. I kind of like the 4. I kind of like being in the middle of the board right now. Just trying to scoop some value, trying to figure out when to reach for guys. Some guys we got to reach for right now, right? We'll talk JCM, of course. What's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. GM. Yeah, haven't done the solo stream in a little bit. Feels good to get back out here. It is DraftKings Best Ball Week once again. I'm a DK partner, so I'm going to be doing DraftKings streams throughout the week. Tomorrow, got Christian Homers coming on the channel. If you guys were around last year, he came on and kind of talked through some of his thoughts. So always got some really interesting strategy angles. He is a horse handicapper, so he's like got a really interesting process where kind of assigning probabilities to events versus what he thinks the market assigned probability is. So that'll be a really fun conversation. He's a big high stakes guy as well. And then I'll doing a stream with Davis on Wednesday. Be back here Thursday and Friday as well. So yeah, lots of fun streaming. We're also right after this going to be doing a high stakes main event draft on the Ship Chasing channel for ADP chasing. So yeah, hope to see you over there too. But let's go ahead and make some picks. All right, so Jefferson goes 2. That's interesting. Not crazy or anything. I think it's totally fine. Bijan goes. Barkley or Lamb. I tend to break ties a little bit to the receiver here. I think I'm gonna do that here as well. Fading Barkley has never hurt me ever. So I think we're gonna go ahead and take Lamb. All right. That's more to me in the beginning of the first round, really about how you want to build your portfolio. The Sims tend to really like Lamb and Gibbs and Barkley. It's not like they don't like Barkley, but it's just we tend to follow the ADP in the very beginning of drafts because these are all great picks. So the Sidekick's not going to really push you towards anyone that the market isn't kind of on there. I'm trying to tilt my portfolio a little bit towards Lamb and Gibbs, a little bit less towards Barkley, but not a huge stance. All right, let's get the board up here and I'll answer some questions. Throw questions in the chat. We'll talk through it. Question about the Sidekick. It seems like it's very tight end horny recently. I'll have Bowers and it'll suggest I take Andrews, then suggest I take Goddard. I actually haven't seen that. What I've seen is that there's like a point typically around, because I have a lot of Bowers, and typically it'll be like maybe around like the Kincaid Goddard range. It'll really start throwing tight ends, especially if you don't have a tight end, then it'll really kind of push tight ends. It gets to a point where it's just like, hey, you need tight end points. You either have 1 tight end or 0, and there's not that many rounds left. So just like making sure you get that taken care of becomes a priority. What I'll do is I'll see like, okay, if there's a group of tight ends I don't feel that differently about, and then I think I can get one of them, or maybe even get the top recommendation in the next round, I will push that because I'm basically using my knowledge of the board to get the Sidekick's recommendation anyway, and then get a better player paired with that tight end. I haven't seen a ton of like Andrew's stuff on Bowers. Is this in BBM? The other thing I guess I would say is the recommendations are specific to the format. So if you're in like a contest with a little different payout structure, that will affect the sim recommendations. Are you in a bad spot for not having any J James? Oh, you maxed without any cross key merit. No, I think cross key merit's like important for you to be taking now, but hopefully you've got some like sick teams that all the JCM slappies just like don't have access to. You have more shots at getting like amazing Abuka teams, right? Now we're paying full price for Abuka. We're paying closer to full price for Golden. We're paying full price for Pearsall. If Pearsall smashes and you got him early when he's going more like the late 7th, you know, it's different paths. All right. I'm going to take a look at our options here. So Bowers jumps to the top. I talked about this a little bit on Pete's Best Ball Breakfast this morning, but we did lower Bowers like in terms of the range of outcomes. We baked in a little bit more risk based on limited route participation in preseason, but just a little. And I think we're still the highest on Bowers of anyone. I did almost create a mutiny when I suggest that we do that. Eventually, I got enough numbers to get it through. But you know, he's a guy we love. We're like far from panicking. But I did want to make sure we weren't overstating the bull case after. It looks like maybe he's not gonna have like 90% route participation. It looks like probably doesn't matter. His targets per route runs gonna be so insane. He can absolutely smash, but we are accounting for that a little bit. I am going to take Bowers. All right. Let's see. In a world where Brian Robinson is traded before the season starts, what's the top ADP for JCM? Trev, we might be living in that world. So here's what I'll say. I took him in the 9th today. And I think it was like a puppy 3, it was in a slow draft. I think it was a puppy 3. That felt like a little bit wild. After clicking it, I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's a touch hot. But I don't know, man. Like he's having such a strong camp that there's like confirmed reports that they are shopping Brian Robinson. They're sitting Brian Robinson so that he doesn't get hurt, so they can trade him. Like that is an incredible camp. That's like an all-time training camp for a rookie to have. And those types of camps have not always, but often led to huge, like league-winning type of hits. So, I guess to me, it's like, what's the upside of, what's the opportunity cost in terms of upside that I'm giving up? Because he might provide some like decent early season production if they trade B-Rob. So if they trade B-Rob, do you like, I don't know, like Tyrone Tracy? Do I want Tyrone Tracy over this guy? Jalen Warren? I think we're talking probably 7th round. I think I'd be 7th round if they trade B-Rob. I kind of thinking through it on the fly, but that's where I think I'm at. All right, so we got Garrett Wilson here. We got Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is probably like a little bit harder to pair with this. He's also not my favorite click. Let's see. We got Lamb. We got Bowers. I will go Hill. Hill, I think, has been. He was going kind of in that 2nd round range, late 2nd, and then the Q tag on DraftKings has helped create the fall. I'm always tempted to grab the Q tag guys who I don't think are, actually like serious injury risk guys. So this combo can't be that common, right? Lamb, Bowers, Hill. It's pretty fun. We'll see. Hill's probably going to say some super dumb shit and ruin his season before it starts, but whatever. All the JCM hype with the potential trade of Robinson, I started taking him in round 18 months ago due to you boosting him up. Oh, wow. I thought you were kind of doing the old back slap there, but Appreciate you you giving me the shout out too. Yeah, we were too aggressive on Brashard Smith, right? We were like, hey, take Brashard Smith. It looks like it's happening. Take him. Never like super high, but like these 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th round picks are for those types of swings. It looks like this swing. It's like this swing might be happening. Let's do it. That one is looking not so great. But the JCM one, we were also really aggressive on and have continued to be aggressive. And I think that's the right way to play August. That's like the point of August is like once we start to get information, there's like the drumbeat. It's a rookie who hasn't really been drafted in a lot of the tournament. Pete was pulling up the percentage. It's like JCM's been drafted in about 37% of BBM drafts according to ETR. So, I would be very similar for this tournament. Like he'll probably be like half drafted, maybe 60% drafted in the entire tournament. That's a nice little edge. It's a nice little edge. So yeah, we were pretty aggressive. Didn't you win BBM with Barkley? I did. I did, yeah. But he wasn't the 102 or the 104. I got him in the second round. I'm a slave to the sidekick. I mean, the sidekick is first of all, I think I've IKB'd it a couple times. And I don't know. I'm the one doing the inputs to it too. So maybe who's really in charge, If B-Rob is going in the 8th, I feel like 6th wouldn't be crazy. Yeah, man. You're right. He probably gets to the so DeAndre Swift versus JCM. That's where it's like, I don't know. I mean, this dude might not even be good. Like ultimately, he might be very limited in what he does well. Might be a better way to say it. So 6 might be 6 is probably where I wave goodbye. But 6, 7 turn, I think you could talk me into if B-Rob is gone. Where do I rank Eckler? I don't think Eckler changes like that much, but we've been ahead of ADP on Eckler for a while. I think Eckler's going to be kind of in the same role he has. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily good for Eckler if JCM's like the truth. You know what I mean? So, and like they have Chris Rodriguez there. Like, if JCM got hurt, would Eckler be like a true lead back? Probably not. They're going to limit his touches, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, the sidekick gets horny for the targets at once sometimes, That's the way the Sims work. Bigsby moving around due to starting week 2. Yeah, we moved Bigsby back up. We basically reverted to our preseason priors. I had trouble getting that out there for a second. All right, let's do Worthy. I'm trying to get a little bit more of. Oh, you know what? Let's do Adams. Stafford was back at practice, right? So that's kind of fun. Get the Adams discount still. I didn't make that up, right? Stafford returned to practice. I know he could still get hurt again. But okay, situation's still fluid per ESPN. So we'll see. But returning to practice sounds good. That's better than what it was. All right. Yeah, dollar bill. Who is JCM? Yeah, I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. I honestly couldn't. Kind of thing for Miles Sanders too. Yeah, Miles Sanders actually, as far as like where we were on the rankings, was bigger before August, but when we didn't have these kinds of plays. You'll still get him at the very end sometimes, but when it was just, you get to the end, it's like, hey, this guy, I don't know, is he anything? Is he going to make a roster? Oh yeah, Ted McMillan coming back with the Q tag. I've kind of he was in my mind as I was looking at my options last round, but I saw the Q tag, man. I might come back. We got him. Man, DraftKings is so fun. Look at this start. CD, Tyreek, Devontae Adams, Tetaroa, McMillan, and Bowers. Feels good. All right. Yeah, so Sanders was he's not the most exciting pick, obviously, but he's always been free and has potential to contribute some serious points to, thin running back rooms. So now that once there were kind of more high upside bets, we generally pivoted, although he's still completely free, so you will see him sometimes in the sidekick. I feel like this. If there was a pick that was a 0 all season, but you knew he was the top overall scorer in week 17, where would you take him? I guess what I'll say is like this is literally Pearsall last year, not the top overall, but he gives you that spike week, right? I forget the exact line, but it's like 8 for 150 and 1 or something. That alone paid off his ADP, which was like 13th, 14th round. So it's big. It's really big. I mean, if you knew that for a fact, you'd probably take him in the first round, right? Arguably, he's the 101 because you can just build around. You have the highest scoring player in week 17, so now you just need to do everything else. If you knew it for a fact. Has to, yeah. So, hey man, it is busy. I'm a busy guy right now, so I can't commit to doing a Schoolhouse Rock bill sitting on. I'll talk to Zach Lenars though. Maybe you can get that. I could help out with the music. Zach can do the graphics. Yeah, the sidekick feature here where you can see. I'll get the comment out. You can see the guys' chances of coming back. That's another key way to know whether or not to push guys. JCM is more of a 2-down back, which is normally not a league winner. And everyone seems to be ignoring what this does to Eckler, which I think is very bullish. I don't think it affects Eckler that much. I think Brian Robinson's also kind of a 2-down guy. Eckler played like half the snaps last year when he played. So I think Eckler just being healthy was kind of what helped Eckler. Again, we're ahead of ADP on Eckler. So it's kind of more like, I don't think this helps Eckler, but Eckler's always been a good pick. It could help Eckler. It could also hurt Eckler if JCM's like awesome. Because he was getting half the snaps with B-Rob. That's good. What if JCM's a 2-down guy, but he's a really, really good 2-down guy and he's up to like 60% of snaps? And, 2-down guy doesn't mean they literally can't have him on the field for passing downs. Does he have any passing upside? That is not the play. The play is that he is like gets downhill, making jump cuts in the hole and then getting back up to full speed very quickly type of runner. The type of runner to be like super efficient next to a mobile quarterback like Jaden Daniels. Yeah, I mean, well, it's hard to be a slave to the thing you're creating. I would argue. All right, so at this point, we're getting thrown running back recommendations. The receivers: Chris Olave, Jerry Jeudy, Rome Odunze, Matthew Golden. I actually like these receivers a little bit more than the running backs, but this is probably where the sidekick has it right. And I should be pivoting to make sure I'm not locked out of running back. DraftKings running backs do go a little higher. So let's throw these guys in the queue. Yes, Swift is already way past ADP. This is a PPR site where his profile is a little bit more appealing. I am going to take him. I think, Roshan not having much of a camp at all. Now, what if they trade for B-Rob, right? That'd be no good. That'd be no good for that pick. But it's hard to like assign that type of risk to specifically Swift. You know what I mean? So for now, let's hope it's his backfield. Okay, so all the running backs go. I feel pretty good about going running back here. We have the running backs. So like Tracy comes back a bit. So let's plan this out. So at 80, at 93 at the 809. We are going to be looking at this is probably the least exciting part of the draft, right? This like 93. I like Warren, but the receivers are all hurt here. Dobbins is okay if I need a running back. So yeah, Aaron Jones, but I think I'm going to go like Olave or Rome or Jennings here, and then push running back and see if we can kind of piece it together. This 0 running back build, but man, Olave is too talented. Rome, we got the Bears bet, and I don't have a ton of Rome, but this is way past ADP, so a nice way to mix that exposure up a little bit. That's one thing too with the side doesn't have your exposures baked in. So I know personally that I just don't really have any Rome, and getting him in the 7th on a Bears thing, I think is a good way to naturally diversify a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Yeah. Okay. So now we're at the 5 wide receivers. Bowers receivers are strong. Little worried about the running backs, right? All right. Let's get back to questions. And I'll zoom, get down here a little bit. All right. Running back attached to Daniel's very valuable. Agree. And that's his profile, is that he's going to be a down home run. The other thing I would say about JCM is that, like, he's not a pass catcher and everything. The whole point, to a degree, is that we don't really know what JCM is. He didn't play his senior year. So, like, what can he do? What can't he do? It's all much harder to say exactly. He could be really, really good. I think he probably is pretty good, given that he seems to have displaced Brian Robinson in like a month of training camp. This is a big deal. So I don't want to say he can't do anything. And that's kind of where I go to, like, I'm not sure if this is actually good for Eckler. It could be, but it's not a lock. So I assume this is about Bill. You've seen him mostly go around 130 because that's where you're taking him. Yeah. He's moving up, man. Moving up quick. James Robinson vibe. Good call. Good call. Very different type of running back, but I agree with, like, this is the rookie who just comes in and it's like, oh yeah, him. He's our guy now. Not as much of like a 3-down workhorse type, but I think anybody saying JCM is a 7th round pick, what chance does he have of mattering, is really obtuse. Yeah, he didn't get to play his senior season because the NCAA said his jersey played too many games because someone else played in his jersey. So stupid. He was robbed. He was robbed of his senior season. There's been guys on him the whole way. Mike Renner had him at 100 in his pre-draft rankings. I think it was in February around the Shrine Bowl. He talked him up as having a really awesome Shrine Bowl week. So he's been someone on the radar. Ben Cummins was messaging me about him as a guy he really liked. There's been guys that have seen JCM as a really intriguing prospect the whole way, but he's obviously a really low floor real life prospect, given that he didn't get to play senior year, kind of tanked his draft stock. I think one way to think about it is, like, you can revise up his draft capital based on this training camp, if that helps you. Like, you could, like, is he a 3rd round pick? Is he a 4th round pick? Like, he's going to get the opportunity, like, commensurate with a 3rd or 4th round pick, I'd say now, maybe even more like a 3rd than a 4th. So yeah, the 7th round pick thing, it's not like it doesn't matter, because I think it's set where we were it's set the starting point, but there's so much new information that we've gotten since then. Eckler isn't that washed. I'm in on Eckler. I don't know. I don't know what I said before. Can you sell me on Jonathan Taylor over? I will do my best to think through that in a minute. All right. Caleb Johnson, Khalil Shakir, TJ Hawkinson, Caleb Williams. Let's think through this. So Caleb is going to come back. Caleb Williams, that is. Caleb Johnson. Man, we got kind of. I'm going to do Mason, man. I'm going to get points here. All right. Caleb. I'm going to take a look at his range. I don't know. It does not seem good for Caleb Johnson. We've moved him down. I might actually want to move him down a little bit more. I'm just worried about his early season outlook, and then he's a guy like, okay, he's a 2-down guy. He's on the Steelers. Like, if Robinson's traded, he's an interesting point. We're like, why are we taking this guy ahead of Bill? Bill flips Caleb immediately if Robinson's traded. Immediately. So yeah, I mean that tells you right there. He's like kind of in the 7-8 and likely higher. All right, let's see. Somehow, as this news broke, I got Eckler to fall to 180. Yeah, I think the reason that it's because this comes within the context of Bill having this incredible camp, and then okay, yeah, I'm gonna do Jalen Warren, who's now top of the sidekick, which we love to see. All right, Jalen Warren. The reason that, by the way, I would totally take JCM already. I think we're kind of already in the range where I think he's a good pick. It's more about where everyone else is going to take him. That Q tag. Yes, DraftKings, give him the Q. we need all the help we can get to get this guy to fall. But I'm going to try to push this a little bit and see where I can actually get him. Little game of chicken here. But okay, so Ben Standig, Last Man Standing podcast, he said last week that he thought Brian Robinson could get. He basically said he would not keep Brian Robinson. He would keep JCM, Chris Rodriguez, Jerry McNichols, and Austin Eckler, I believe, was his 4. And he would move on from Brian Robinson, because what's the point of Brian Robinson when you have Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt? That's the context of it. It's that, like, the reason that it's not like Brian Robinson's hurt or had this horrible camp. It's that, like, this rookie just came along and made Brian Robinson expendable. So you want the guy who did that, where Eckler's role maybe hasn't changed that much. Like yeah. And again, maybe it changes for the worse. Something I think is underdiscussed with JCM Rise is how the BBM winner had Pearsall in the 14th. It doesn't matter where you get a guy that late, just that you get him. Yes. Yeah, especially if, like, half the field, you show up and it's like 1 out of 16 advance or 1 out of 12 advance, and you're one of 5 teams with him, and he goes nuts. And that would assume he has 100% advance rate, because he's only be drafting, like, half the team. So let's say he's got, let's say he's on 6 of the teams, 60% drafted, right? Got a 20% advance rate. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about like, you're the only team, you're realistically the only team with him in a 12-person pod, if he has a good but not incredible advance rate and then goes nuts. So yeah, it's helpful. It's like you versus 0 people versus you versus 2 or 3 people. Sorry, you as one of 2 or 3 people. It's good. Nice little lever. 31% Eckler and 12% JCM. Yeah. Godwin. The report after this, we're gonna update Godwin a little bit. It doesn't look. Pup seems more and more likely now. Yeah. Bummer. Max in the Palm 3, a bad idea. I don't know. I mean, how much do you dislike 4-hour and 1-hour clocks? Because you're getting those. But yeah. All right. Jaden Reed just went. That's a bummer. All right. Let's see. I'm going to throw Burden in, who I just take whenever. But he goes so much later here. Should we do Ja'Cory now? We're in round 10. I don't really see the opportunity cost exactly. I'm going to do it. Ja'Cory. Come on down. Need the running backs. B-Rob's going to go. He's going elsewhere. We don't have a quarterback yet. The opportunity cost was probably like a Higgins to Stroud setup. Let me figure out quarterback. So we got Geno, we got Bryce Young, Caleb Williams didn't come back. Got Stafford, I guess. Got Tua. Dak went. Got McCarthy with Jordan Mason. Certainly Tua is someone to consider, but I'm not going to take him here. McCarthy. Yeah. We want McCarthy, probably need to do it. Stroud, he's at 123. Probably won't come back. Could take Higgins for my 6th wide receiver. Trevor Lawrence is always backstackable. So I need probably to take a quarterback. I do love Burton, but he might come back. I don't think I'm going to take Tua because I think I can get one of these guys and then get another later. So I'm going to do Lawrence, who's the most easily backstackable, and play for Tua to come back. Just don't want to get shut out at quarterback. Getting shut out at quarterback on DraftKings is a real concern. Do have Bryce Young. Let's throw Tootin in the queue. Geno. Yeah, we'll be okay now. Quarterback's not a big concern. I just didn't want to push it too far. All right. JCM, thoughts on the JCM pick? Too high? Where are you guys at? Yeah, BCM. BCM is good. How much JCM do you have right now? I don't know because I'm just jamming them in these slow drafts. I can tell you, BBM. I'll pull that up. Give me a sec. Been fairly aggressive on him, so it's not going to be like crazy because I didn't touch him early on at all. But he's been a priority for me since the reports came out that he was just having this insane camp, which has probably only been a couple weeks ago, but it feels longer. All right, where is BBM here? Okay. So Ja'Cory, I'm at 17%. 17%. That feels good. I'm happy with that. Probably be a little bit higher in the end, but we'll see how expensive he gets. All right, I'm going to jump back up, answer some stuff I missed. Oh man, there's a bunch of questions. This dude might not be that good. I was talking about JCM. Like, he's probably pretty damn good, but, wide range. JCM or Judkins? I think it's JCM. I think this guarantees Eckler goal line work. I wouldn't say guarantees. We just don't know. But that I do think is like a fairly good case for Eckler. JCM is inevitable. It is fun, right? This is fun. August gives some really, really fun. Like, we're gonna remember this. This is gonna be like 2025. This is what this summer we're gonna remember this summer about, for better or for worse. Like, it's gonna remember the Calvin Ridley one. The Jaguars hype. Like, this is this is definitely gonna be something we look back on either way. Judkins, yeah. I mean, Judkins, it's like, oh man, wheels up. Still time for him to get in there, and then they haven't signed him. The pick ahead of him and behind him both got fully guaranteed deals, and I'm guessing that the Browns are like, hey, there's still this NFL investigation hanging over you. We're not going to give you the fully guaranteed deal. That strikes me as like super dumb. by the Browns, these charges were dropped. So like, yeah, they might. I don't. Why would you wait on what the NFL is going to do at this point? Get the guy in camp. You took him in the second round. He's not being charged with anything. Sign your player. It's the Browns, though, so they're. I don't want to question what the Browns are doing. They have such a spotless record. All right. JCM slappies need walking sticks. Yeah. Ultimate blind seal pick. All right. So we got Tua, Bryce Young, Ramondre. Ramondre is helpful for some early season stuff, but we have Mason. I'm not sweating that too bad. Oh, Burden comes back. Tootin's here. So let's go Tootin and we'll push Tua. Tua's always pushable. And we do have Bryce Young. This is always going to be a trying to backstack Lawrence situation. And so that's nice. Sidekick shouting at me to get the quarterback now. We'll get the quarterback. So Stevenson goes. Man, why is Burden here? 148? So crazy. What a steal. What a steal that this dude just got. Let's give him his flowers here. Jefferson, McConkey, Hampton, Worthy, Pickens, Pollard, Laporta, Caleb Johnson, way past ADP, Hawkinson, Herbert stacked with Jefferson. McCarthy stacked with Jefferson, Herbert stacked with McConkey. Then he gets Burden way past ADP. Good ass team. Fish M08. Good ass team. All right. I've got Tyreek, so I think Tua. It's not going to be a good year for Tyreek unless Tua stays healthy. Tua was extremely productive at times, even last season. So I think pretty big discount on the ceiling. Let's not talk about the floor. No point in talking about the floor. Top heavy tournament. Let's not worry ourselves with that. All right. Let's see. If Bill wasn't drafted, he wouldn't even be on the radar. That's not true. I mean, James Robinson did this, I think the 6th, 7th undrafted is kind of the same. Can you guys say why you dropped Rashard Smith 40 spots in the ranks this weekend? Yeah, what has changed is there's been kind of a drumbeat. At first, there was sort of this drumbeat that he was, he was like looking very, very strong. Roster wasn't such a concern because, okay, as the 7th round pick, does he make the roster? That's a huge reason why you wouldn't be taking him in best ball. It was looking very positive, but reports have kind of flipped a little bit where he was not standing out so much, according to Beats. And then I've even seen some stuff where he was left off of 53-man roster projections. Normally he's not. He's still projected to make it, but that now starting to kind of go the other way where, okay, maybe he was someone who was impressing a little bit early, but hasn't been able to carve out a role. More and more, it seems like Kareem Hunt has that 3rd down role to start the season. And so he is truly like a end of season bet. And then he was playing, I believe he played behind Elijah Mitchell in the last preseason game. So the narrative's kind of swung the other way. And I just, we don't want it to be taking zeros. So I have a good amount of Rashard Smith from that period where we were excited. And I think, it's probably best to hope that we were right then, but not necessarily add a ton to the bet. Unless the situation changes. But with making new teams with the information we have today, I think the downside is just it's concerning enough to probably go with other guys. Like Giddens, right? Like now Giddens looks way more locked in as the RB2. I'm just going to take Giddens. Is it possible that JCM sucks, but they find out after trading B-Rob and then Eckler gets more work? I like it. It's a fun narrative. It's possible, sure. Debo. This is good for Debo. See, you guys, you thought you're all gal brain talking about Eckler. No. This is actually this is big for Debo. I honestly could help him. Okay. The only reason JCM 7th round. Yeah, we covered this. It's so dumb. All right. Do you think any teams will be stronger than today's JCM teams? Yeah, like yesterday's JCM teams may be stronger. But I think one thing that is hard to remember with these, like you look at this tournament, like you're gonna get it's 1 of 12, 1 of 12. Like these DraftKings tournaments, they just boom, you made it. You're 2 of 12, you make it, and then all these great teams wiped out. Best JCM teams in the tournament likely wiped out in week 15. Week 16, again, wiped out. Better teams than the teams that advance in a lot of cases just didn't have as good of a week. That's the chaos of this tournament. So and tournaments like it. So I don't. It's not really about having the best JCM team. It's about having the JCM team that survives, and then him being the dude you need. All right, I think we can go with Stafford here, but does he still have the Q? He does still have the Q, so we'll push him. We'll grab Thornton as the receiver. Thornton's he could come back. We could also grab Strange. Let's grab Strange. Backstack and Lawrence. ADP that's the ADP game right there. But yeah, okay. So Lawrence backstacked with Strange and Tootin. There's always Diami as well. And yeah, Stafford kind of falls down the sidekick a little bit. Wandale, he just went. Rodgers. No, I think we push. So Stafford go. That didn't work. Garendo, Darnold. Yeah. Okay. Man, this range of the draft. When JCM was here, it was a lot more fun. The 170s were more fun when JCM was here. Hollywood Brown continues to fall. I don't have that much of him. I'm okay mixing him in. He'd be a wide receiver 6. Rodgers is the quarterback 3. On a Tua Trevor team, we have Warren. So that's fine. Let's see. Hunter Henry. This is Bauer's team, so I don't think tight end's a huge priority, especially now that we also have Strange. Yeah, I think I'm going to do Hollywood Brown. Just kind of underpriced veteran. Maybe not that underpriced, but guy that I have not taken much of and has fallen recently. All right, so the team through 15 rounds: Lamb, Bowers, Hill, Adams, Tetaroa, McMillan, DeAndre Swift, Roma Dunze, Jordan Mason, Jalen Warren, Ja'Cory, Krosky, Merritt, Trevor Lawrence, Bayshall, Tootin, Tua Tagovailoa, Brenton Strange, and Hollywood Brown. Do see Miles Sanders here. Makes sense for the team. Jalen Wright's here. Correlation. Najee Harris has actually fallen far enough to where he's on the radar. The quarterbacks popping around. Can tackle on the third quarterback if we want. I might be down to do that. Oh, Diami Brown. Let me throw him in the queue. Correlated play. Tesla, Besh, some of these rookies. Johnston's falling. So yeah, this is like, it feels like kind of the 14th round is the 18th round. And the 15th round is also the 18th round, and so on. All right. Any thoughts on Imanor? He's been getting good chatter in camp, had a good preseason game this weekend. Is he a late round pick for you on stacked or just on Ward? For me, just on Ward teams right now. It doesn't seem, he's been a tough one for me because I am kind of excited about him, but it doesn't seem like he's like fully cracked through yet. And yeah, didn't have a ton of draft capital behind him. So, baseline expectations would be kind of low, but someone I was excited to get excited about in the preseason just hasn't quite materialized yet. But yeah, I'd be willing to stack him with Ward for sure. when Chris Rodriguez and McNichols get all the snaps. That Eckler doesn't. Yeah, that'd be a bummer. Any redraft content for home leagues for LegUp? I launched main event rankings. The problem for me with like home league rankings is that I'm not really drafting in ESPN leagues and stuff or whatever. And so I don't know that I would do a better job of adapting the rankings to your league than you will. So my hope is that the main event rankings show you like my redraft brain there. Obviously, it's a tight end premium format, but it is PPR. So that's where I'm at, like from a redraft perspective, and I'm dialing those in against like main event drafts until the season kicks off. So I'm adjusting. Like tonight, I'm going to have the rankings up, and I'm going to be adjusting them during the draft, making sure that they match my actual like redraft takes, as opposed to having best ball brain with the rankings a little bit. I think they're already pretty damn dialed in, but going to keep tweaking them as I go. So that's kind of where I'm at on that now. I just don't want to have something out there that's not what I would actually draft off myself. Yeah, Bears would be interested in B-Rob, which would be bad for this team, but kind of interesting generally. Oh, wow. Eric Bieniemy is the Bears running back coach, was previously the Washington OC. That's such an interesting connection that it does make me worry about Swift a little bit. That's a really good comment. How much of the JCM hype has to do with drafters liking Washington and Jaden as a whole? Definitely some. But I think a big part of it too is that he's like the ultimate black box running back. Like we just don't know how good he is because he didn't play as a senior. Like who has super, super strong, like negative JCM takes? Like it'd be hard to have them because you just don't know. So I think that's part of it. You can really dream on him. No one knows how good he is. I don't know if it's a contract dispute. I think he just took the job, is what it is. This is incorrect. JCM is just as likely to be inactive. This is head in the sand. I would recommend adapting to the news that we have. This he is the reason that they would be trading Robinson. It's not like they don't like Robinson. Robinson got shot and then had a good rookie year. Dude's a baller. It's about JCM. That's the reason. Jalen Wright, ADP value with Tua makes a lot of sense. Not a guy I take a ton of, but he does look to be ahead of Ollie Gordon. So I think he's a nice pick for the 0 running back team here. All right, let me get back to the questions. Yeah, he does prefer Bill. I've been saying JCM all stream. Bill just seems like, do you guys know who I'm talking about? Robinson has a year left on his contract. What if it's just a committee backfield? Yeah, that is the risk for sure, that he doesn't get traded and we got all hyped. But I honestly think he takes this job. So 2 weeks ago, when we first started getting really high on him in the rankings, it's because beat reporters were saying this is his job by December. He is going to be their starting running back by December. You don't shop your starting running back if you're not open to the new guy being your starting running back. And that wouldn't be week 1, I don't think, if Robinson is there. But it could easily be November. It could be freaking October with them willing to shop him. So, yeah. Over ETM was a little too much for me. That's a non-derogatory. That's fair. Non-derogatory. That's fair. But come on, let's have a little fun. Yeah. Okay, so this is the reaction to me taking JCM on the 10. It's good to know where the line is. It's good to know. All right, I'm gonna take one of these receivers, and let's see. Tesla, De'Ami Brown. I probably get Tesla, 57% chance that he comes back. So I'm going to go ahead and do De'Ami and work on that back stack. Back stack achieved. Trevor Lawrence, De'Ami Brown, Brenton Strange, Bashal Tootin. I did it. I successfully backstacked. Quarterback's now wiped out. So it is just going to be a 2-quarterback build with Lawrence and Tua. Stay healthy, Tua. But, if he does, I think that's good enough. Would have been better as a 3-quarterback build, but not the way it fell. All right. Is there a big difference between JCM and Tootin? I mean, Tootin, I think, is a better prospect. Like, I think Tootin is such a strong prospect, but he has not. They're not. Where's the we're not going to play ETN this week because we're trading him? You know, where's the? Actually, we were just showcasing Bigsby. Please trade for him. We're not getting that. It tells you something. He was hurt for part of camp, kind of slowed down the hype train a little bit. I still think he's a really strong bet to take at least part of that job down the stretch. And I want to bet on his talent. But, you know, one of the things from doing this for a while, like, I don't want to get too caught up in like, oh, actually like Tootin better than JCM. So why would I take JCM ahead of Tootin? It's because JCM's going to flip Tootin and already has and is going to soar past him. So if you want any JCM, you should take him ahead of Tootin. You know, I don't want to get like too caught up in that game. Like I'll take both. I reached for JCM and now I have both. That's the way I want to play it. We've seen like Dameon Pierce, right? Dameon Pierce, when he was a rookie, he started in the 18th round. He went up into like the 12th round. He finished up in like the 6th, 7th, 8th round. I can't even, maybe it was 8th or 9th, but he got into the single digits as a rookie. Pacheco came up from the very end. I think he might have finished more like 11th round, but was a huge riser. Just understanding that like the access to early season opportunity is going to come with a higher price, and JCM might have access to early season opportunity that Tootin really won't, or is unlikely to anyway. These guys desperately want a Puka Kyron hit. Unreal. Yeah, imagine wanting a Puka Kyron hit in a tournament that pays out $2 million to first and has 1,000 people in a 1-week final seeking upside like that's crazy. You fools. Are you on board with Ibuka and Henderson in the 4th and 6th? It's more about, for me with Henderson, you're paying for the talent and you're probably paying a fair price for the talent. I think he's awesome, but he's not going to have an awesome role in the beginning of the season. I think he is their like 3-down back, probably with like 65% of the snaps, not like a true workhorse, but the clear starter by the end of the season. He's just better than Ramondre. Ramondre fumbles and he's going to take the job, but it's not going to happen right away. And I think people are going to be pissed off in the 4th round. So if you're building with him, just build like he's a very expensive 6th round pick, because I think that's what he is, which is fine. You know, I think you can pay off that ADP, but like pairing him with a guy like, you know, Aaron Jones or Tony Pollard, Pacheco, like I think that's how you want to build with him. I don't think you want to like, you know, anchor RB Henderson teams are going to struggle. I think he's just not going to have the role right away. Buying any Bills pass catchers, I do take some Kincaid and Palmer. Shakir hasn't really fallen enough. Where'd he go here? I'm a little bit worried about Shakir at the price I still have to pay. Where'd he go here? Oh, late 8th. So that's not so bad. But yeah, I wish he was like late 8th, early 9th. Oh, am I on the clock? I believe I am. All right. Monungai. Should we handcuff with Kyle Monungai? I honestly don't mind it. If Robinson goes, we're very screwed. Robinson now cannot go. The other thing I do is I take Harold Fannin before I get sniped on him. It doesn't seem like a super snipey room, but I'm still going to do it because I love Harold Fannin. And he rested with the starters. The guy rested with the starters. Come on. Harold Fannin's such a smash. AD Mitchell, I like. Going to throw him in the queue. Monungai I'll take if he comes back for sure. Get your guys kind of draft, you know? All right, let's see. Thoughts on what to do on B-Rob with eliminators? I'm not taking him in eliminators, man. Not taking him. You're out like week 1. Like the whole thing is you got to get through week 1. Like he's the floor. No, not doing it. How high is too high? This draft approved where too high is 10th round, unless he gets traded, and then we'll take him in the 6th. Yeah, signing Bond before Judkins is literally insane. They aren't signing Judkins until the NFL concludes their investigation. I think you're right, but it's really dumb for them to do that because there's charges. There's no charges right now. Really dumb. Dolphins have big last year's Jags energy. I do agree. Bottom could fall out and everyone get fired. That's almost what I expect to happen. But I will build teams with them anyway. Kyle Monangai goes. God damn it. Probably should have just taken him. I'll take AD Mitchell. Any of these running backs make sense? Let's take Mitchell. Handcucking Monangai did not feel very fun, but now that he's gone, I'm a little sad. Jarquez Hunter we could do. It's the Rams thing, but I bet you he comes back. Hunter not having a ton of steam right now. Yeah. I bet we can get Hunter to close. All right. Lots of good questions. Apologize, I'm way behind, but I've been having fun going through everything. Leg up thoughts on Ollie Gordon. Seems like he's passed right. It's the number 2. That's not how the preseason usage was. But we don't view them super, super differently. Ollie Gordon, I think, is on the menu late. Same reason. Was this because he's not going to make the roster? Is that the same reason? BJ8 Splitch, man. You are in the midst of some cope. I have to say. You've had some good points otherwise. About the JCM stuff. Yeah. Would be interesting to see if the Dolphins would take a quarterback. I don't know, man. They have Zach Wilson. Them bringing Zach Wilson as the backup is so bearish for like their ability to make decisions. Best landing spot for B-Rob would be Dallas, maybe. Houston, right? What's the deal with Mixon? That could be pretty good. And then Chicago would be the other one. Ricky Person visiting the Bills. Yeah, Chris Rodriguez is an easy guy to cut. Yeah. But they kind of like him because he's still on the rookie deal. Dolphins RB2. Yeah, I think it's probably right, but I don't feel that strongly. And I think Ollie Gordon is draftable. What are you doing with Brees? Been taking him in the 50s. I honestly love him in the 50s, man. Especially on DraftKings and PPR. They're going to throw him the ball. Does he pay off, the 3rd round ADP? Maybe not. Is he kind of a dead zone type of dude? Probably at this point. But I think he's still really good. I think you're just getting a big, big discount on his talent. So in that situation, in that sense, I don't think he's very dead zoney because I still think he's really good. He's a great pass catcher. His rushing numbers weren't great last year, but they weren't terrible. I've heard him, comp to ETN and stuff. ETN has been like legit bad at times. Brees has never been bad. He's been awesome at times, and then he's been kind of like disappointing relative to our expectations. But in the 50s, I'm drafting him. I'm drafting him in the 40s. I'm willing to take him in the 4th round. I don't think he's a smash in the 4th round, but I definitely think he's worth targeting there. And in the 5th, I think he's kind of a no-brainer. All right. Why would they cut B-Rob when he's on a rookie contract? Yeah, they probably won't cut him. But the reason they're shopping him is because they basically are willing. They kind of want to do something else. And they're looking to get something for him. But I wouldn't rule it out that they cut him. I really wouldn't. Daniel Jones is kind of an intriguing way to play this, to be honest. He's going to start games. I could use the quarterback points. It's completely free. My opportunity cost is Roman Wilson. Sure. Not the most fun click I've ever made, but does Daniel Jones tie the room together? All right. Show me where it says they'll trust a league min guy to protect the franchise quarterback. No, that's a good point. I think Eckler is their guy on clear passing downs. But another thing that running backs do is they get handed the ball and then they run. I think JCM will do that a decent amount. What's your take on Ibuka playing X? I thought he'd be practicing in the slot. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not what we expected. I don't know. It's not the worst thing, right? If a guy's able to play outside, maybe it's good for Godwin if he's healthy, but it's also good for Ibuka if he's playing outside and Godwin's in the slot, because that means he's just going to like run 90% of the routes all year. So that's cool. They don't think B-Rob is a decisive enough runner. Yeah, fair enough that it's about B-Rob some. I mean, B-Rob is, he's a replacement level back in a lot of ways. Been doing 10 drafts at a time because of the sidekick. Very helpful. But man, I got behind on exposure check. Tell that team thank you for you can thank me. You can thank me for that. Yeah. But it is nice for multi-tabling. And also, rested with the starters. All right. Debo is probably the heaviest spot they have. Debo goal line back. I could see it. Yeah, I got him. If you had to draft from one slot for the rest of the summer, which slot are you taking? I would take the 6. I'd take the 6, I think. So I'm not getting any Chase, but I think I'm probably not getting a Bijan, but I'm probably getting everyone else. Like I'd probably get a little tiny bit of Lamb there, but I'm getting Gibbs. I'm getting Jefferson. I can get McCaffrey. I can obviously reach for the other guys. It'd be either 5 or 6. Maybe it'd be. Now I'm rethinking. Maybe it'd be 4. I'll do 4 because then I can get some Lamb. I get occasionally Bijan. I still don't get any Chase, but yeah, 4 is fun. You get Bowers here. You can get one of the fallers from round from the 2-3 turn. You can get some McBride if you don't get Bowers. There's kind of a little bit of you can get the elite quarterbacks. So yeah, I would do 4 where we did this draft. What's your take on JCM Robinson? The whole stream's been kind of about that. Maybe that's the bit. But yeah. Do you like Trevion over Kenneth Walker? Yeah, I mean, I feel like in a vacuum, sure. I'm trying to get more Walker in that spot because I already have a decent amount of Henderson at the 5-6. So I'd probably break the tie to Walker personally. But there are times where I'm like, yeah, maybe Henderson on this side of the board is what I need. And I don't have a lot of that because I was taking him more in the late 5th or the early 6th. I don't have a lot of front half of the board, Trevion Henderson. So that one's close. Made my wife. Yeah, sorry, man. Sorry to your wife. I didn't know. Keeping her waiting there. Let's see. Sorry, I missed this. Was literally pushing an airplane. What round do you feel like you aren't reaching? I don't think I'm reaching anymore in the 12th. The 12th does not feel like reaching for a JCM to me. I'm just like, oh, sick. JCM's here. I like B-Rob for Miami. That's an interesting one. Ibuka is just Justin Jefferson. It's being typecast. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's as good as Justin Jefferson. He's not as good of a prospect. Justin Jefferson was like, I've talked about how, I was in that redraft season, I was taking Rager and not so much Jefferson, and that was a huge mistake. But in Dynasty, I had both of them as like clear targets. And I think Jefferson was definitely a better prospect than Ibuka. but is like a archetype. He's very much in the Justin Jefferson, like we're saying he doesn't have a ceiling when he could have like a huge ceiling because we're like wrong about that stuff all the time. Lamb at 8. Hell yeah. Congrats, brother. 6 gives you a chance at Achan. I guess it does him coming back. McWeapon over Rodriguez. I'm not taking those dudes. I think they're contingent plays and not very good. I guess if B-Rob got traded in the 20th round, you could maybe do it. I don't think so, though. Okay. I think that's it. B-Rob to Houston makes no sense because he's already there, and his name is Dameon Pierce. I don't know. That's rude. That's rude to B-Rob. I think he's more consistent than Dameon Pierce. You got to give him that. I feel like Ibuka won't play 2 wide receiver sets once Godwin is back. I mean, he's definitely expensive. I think you're paying kind of full price for Ibuka now at the 512. I did take him today at like 604, I think. So, I'm not completely out. But, yeah, it was nicer when he went in the 7th and the 8th. That was a lot more fun. All right, that'll do it for this stream. I will be back again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And, be back again every day this week. As I mentioned, in about 20 minutes, we're going to be doing on the Ship Chasing channel, the ADP Chasing crew. We'll be drafting an FFPC main event. So I hope to see you guys over there. And, I should mention for Sidekick subscribers, actually, there's a couple things I should mention. Sidekick subscribers can get a $20 bonus ticket to the DraftKings flagship contest that I just drafted in. But you can also get, DraftKings is doing for everybody. If you, the QR code here on the side, just snap that, get that going, and you can enter into this flagship tournament and then get a bonus ticket into the tournament. So that's just like a promo they're running for everyone. But then Sidekick subscribers can get another bonus ticket. Head on over to legendaryupside.com/perks, fill out a form, and I will send your username over to DraftKings. I'm actually going to do a batch tonight. So if you've been looking for it, filled out in the last week or so, been looking for your ticket, you should get it tomorrow. But yeah, that'll do it. Thank you all for watching. See you tomorrow.